Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to a brand new video. Today it is time for the first time in actually nearly a year for a channel update. Now I couldn't believe that, I really couldn't believe that. I looked on the channel earlier, I thought it's been a while since I've done a channel update. I'm sure it was before all this COVID business knocked off. So I thought, well, it's got to be before March, but now I'm sure I've done one in 2020. About October the 5th last year was my last channel update, which is quite unbelievable. The last time I sat and spoke to you guys about what's going on the channel, what's going on in the future of the channel, what's going on in my life, and of course me asking you guys how you were doing. It's been nearly 12 months since we'd done that, and I thought now was a perfect time to sit down, have a chat with you. It might well be a ramble, but I'm going to give you the headlines in the first 5 minutes. So those of you who only want the headlines, you'll get them. But I have promised myself, but that promise could easily be broken, that we will finish this once I've finished my cup of tea. A cup of tea which is still quite hot. So we could be here for about 15-20 minutes. But as I said, I haven't done a channel update since last October, and a lot has changed since then. You don't need me to tell you. In the world, a lot of things have changed, of course, in my personal life. Because of that, a hell of a lot of things have changed as well. But last October, I came with the line, well, I've been away for a few weeks, and it seems to be ringing true again. I've actually been at work now nearly a year. Next Wednesday coming marks a year since I started work, and yeah, I can't believe that. It's absolutely flown by, and a year into it, it's been an absolutely crazy 12 months. I'm sure you guys all know. But first off, I think what I want to say first is a big hello to all the new Tour de France viewers. It is absolutely crazy how much the Tour de France content, the early content are done on the game, the views that's getting at the moment. It's absolutely bonkers. I was looking, and I look most days to be honest, and the stage that the Tour de France is on at the moment, say stage number 15, that stage will get about 300 views in that day, which is absolutely mind-boggling. And I feel a bit guilty to be honest, because it is a little bit misleading with Chris Froome, Egan Bernal and Grant Thomas in the thumbnail, but you know, what else can I do to distinguish that it's the game and not the real life thing? But hopefully, some of the people that are watching that video, A, don't ruin the audience retention rate, and B, quite enjoy the game as well. So it's a bit of a win-win. So if anybody has come along from watching those videos, or just in general is a new viewer over the last few months, I know I've had a few people in the comments say they're new viewers, and would just like to show their face. Well, hello, I'm showing my face to you now as well. But it's great to have new viewers on the channel, it really is. We hit 1,000 subscribers. I think it was last August. Not this August just gone, obviously, but the August before that. And now there's over 1,700 of you here, which is really great growth. You know, you've got to think that in nearly a year, that's double. That's double what we had before. So that's an absolutely fantastic achievement. I'd just like to thank you guys for your constant support. The main players, you know who you are. The ones who comment all the time. But whether you're someone who watches every video, watches just this video, watches the odd video, anyone who views a video on this channel, I always say it, and you'll hear a lot of YouTubers say it, but you know, I genuinely mean it, that when you watch the videos, it is genuinely appreciated. Again, there are two main roles I have as a content creator, in my opinion. A, to entertain you, the viewer, and B, to entertain myself, to enjoy myself while I do, because YouTube's a hobby. You know, it's not a career for me. Yes, I earn a little bit of money off it. Let's say, you know, as a round figure, I'll be completely honest with you, maybe £20-25 a month, which is nice. It's a nice bit of pocket money to go on top of my wage. But it's not a career for me. Obviously, I earn that in half a day at work. Do you know what I mean? So it's certainly not a career for me, but the main thing as a hobby is that I enjoy it, and I definitely do. It seems you guys enjoy the videos as well, or else none of you would watch. So that's just a win-win for me, and it really pleases me and gives me a bit of, a lot of motivation to make these videos when I see that it's a real mutual benefit, that I'm enjoying making them, and of course you are enjoying watching them as well. So just the first, and I guess only headline. There's a bit of yapping outside, so I'll just shut the window. The main headline really is a bit of a new channel schedule. I have updated the videos. I think I've said in 1 or 2 videos, but I'd like to just say it's a channel update to get it out there as crystal clear. That it's only a subtle change, but the snooker will change from Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That Friday will change to a Saturday. And as a result, the Tour de France videos, which are usually on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Saturday, that Saturday will then also be bumped back a day to Sunday. It's basically just because that works a lot better for work. I've found that going back to work, just having that cushion on a Friday helps a little bit, and I do finish early on a Friday, but I like to use Friday as my chill day. So I don't mind recording during the week on evenings, but I like to use Friday as my chill day. And certainly at the moment now, going back to work, I am recording Saturday's video on Saturday, Sunday's video on Sunday, Monday's video, alright, maybe Sunday night, but you get the picture. I'm recording pretty much day to day, so Friday seems like the most sensible day to have off. We were having Sundays off, to be fair. I was doing retro Sundays, but I'm going to knock that on the head for a little bit, but I'm not going to say no to that returning. There will be sporadic episodes of it, I can promise that. There might be the odd episode of Retro Sunday, which I'll just stick in at 1 o'clock on a Sunday when I feel like it, because with those videos, I don't really want to feel obligated to make one. I don't want to be rummaging about in my drawer on every weekend and looking for a game to play, because, again, I don't enjoy forcing myself to do anything. But if I'm at work on a Friday and I think, oh, I'd like to play X or Y this weekend, I'll play X and probably Y and split them to 2 Retro Sunday videos for the next 2 weeks. Because I think, personally, and again, that's the main headline, so there's nothing too massive, but just wants to let you know of that. But genuinely, I just wanted to have a chat with you guys more than anything. But I think that, again, this whole forcing yourself to do something, it's a hobby, YouTube is for me. And I think with all this COVID business, and again, I'm not going to go into it too much, but with all this business, it just makes you realise where your priorities lie, doesn't it? You know, YouTube's great. It's been in my life for a number of years now. I've been making YouTube videos on and off for the best part of probably 6, 7, 8 years. Take another swig of my cup of tea whilst I calculate that one. Oh, lovely cuppa. Blimey, that's gone down in temperature a lot in the last 2 minutes, so I better take another swig just to make sure it doesn't get cold. I do like a cup of tea. What was I saying? Yeah, COVID. It makes you realise where your priorities lie, doesn't it? YouTube's been in my life for a long time now. Probably nearly half of my life if you're looking at it. Nearly 10 years watching videos, obviously, and then creating videos for the last umpteen years, or how many years it has been. And you get to realise that YouTube isn't the number one priority. You know, I've got a family, I've got friends, I've got other interests. In the last 12 or 18 months, I have really got into record collecting. My dad got a record player for Father's Day last year, and you know how it is, don't you? With all these things, I thought, right, I just want one record for that record player. I'd quite like to buy this record. And then you say, oh, actually, I'll buy this one. And then it transpires into you buying about 400 records in 12 months. Yeah, go figure. But, you know, that takes up quite a bit of my time as well. I'm a frequent member of Discogs. I catalogue my records on there, and I also do a bit of buying and selling, so that takes up time as well. And when you're countering the fact that, obviously, I've got my job, which I'm back full-time now, that takes nearly 40 hours of the week out, which, when we were in COVID lockdown, I'd got those 40 hours a week spare. That's a hell of a lot of time to have or not to have. It's a huge amount of time. You know, you calculate over a week how much time you've got. I'm not going to do it, but you calculate how much time you've got over a week, and taking 40 hours out of that week is a big amount. It definitely is a big amount. And then obviously you've got the 40 hours, and then you've got the time after that, which you need to relax. You know, you're not going to come back from work. I finish work at 3:30. I start work at 7. I'm not going to come back and get back for 4 o'clock and then work my arse off for the next 6 hours. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. There would be a time where I'd do that. I'd come back, I'd sit on my computer all night, I would make videos, or I would be productive doing something, because I think 12 months ago, that's how I was. I was right, I've got to be productive, I've got to be doing something. But I think with this lockdown and COVID and getting my priorities straight, I thought, no, you've got to take a bit of time just to relax, just a bit of time to take time out. And I don't think that's being lazy, but that's just making sure that your mind stays healthy, that everything stays healthy, and, you know, it's a win-win when it comes to that. I'm not trying to make excuses, though. There's no way that I'm trying to make excuses. For last week, I haven't uploaded a video, and I do hold my hands up to that. I think half of that is trying to get over the what happened in the last Snooker 19 episode. And not revealing any spoilers, but the season review will, hopefully, I haven't recorded that yet, but the season review will hopefully be out later on today. But yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it? Absolutely terrible. We were 12-5 up, for Christ's sake, and we lost. I still can't quite believe that. I've just tried to shut it out of my mind for the last week. forget that ever happened, and I'll review it in more depth in the video that comes up later today. But as I've just hinted at, the schedule that I've mentioned earlier, like this week, I'm not going to always keep to that schedule because life just gets in the way sometimes. You know, my sister's heavily pregnant. She's got a baby coming in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks possibly. And, you know, it would be nice to see that baby a bit more and see the family a bit more. Obviously, with the COVID restrictions, it's tough. But, you know, you've got to make the most of these things. You've got to make the most of these things because I think what COVID shows is that we're very lucky to be here. Again, I'm very lucky that, unfortunately, we had somebody at work who passed away, who contracted COVID. But in terms of my personal life, my family, we've been very lucky. We've been very lucky. We've had nobody in the family who's had COVID. And I think you just have to take... you basically have to shouldn't take it for granted, should you, that everyone's going to have their health. So rather than spending 2 hours making YouTube videos where I could be spending the time doing something else that might, you know, YouTube can wait. That's what I'm saying. It's not the number one priority, but when I can, I'll make the videos, and you know, that's what I'll try and do in the future. And again, as I've said, I do this to purely entertain you and enjoy myself. There was a time where I took this really, really seriously, and I still take it seriously. I'm not saying that I don't really care anymore, but I think you've just got to take a bit of a breather from it. You know, I've got other interests to juggle, and I don't have the fullest life in the world. I appreciate I've probably got more time than others, but, you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? But I could go around the house with that all day, so I'm not going to bother. But just take I think that'll probably be the final swig of my cup of tea now. No, there's another one in there yet. We're all right. Yeah, one more thing to say, obviously, in this channel update is I've talked about what's happened in the past. We've reflected on our past. We're talking about the present, new channel schedule. That's kind of going into the future. But that's what I want to talk about now, the future months and what the plan is for the future months. And the first point I've made, of course, is Football Manager. Football Manager 2021 should be out this year, hopefully. I think Sports Interactive, they obviously haven't confirmed it yet, but I think it'll be out later in the year. Sort of the start of December probably. So when that comes out, I will be covering that definitely, as I've covered the rest of the Football Manager games. I think the last few years certainly not in as much depth as the other ones, but nonetheless, I'll definitely be covering that. Possibly there might be something to facilitate the return of Rugby 20 because you guys absolutely adored that, and to be fair, I enjoyed it. Again, just circumstances dictated that wasn't possible to do, and before we knew, we were, you know, it had gone and I had done it for a while, and it's just been pushed away, unfortunately, for a little while. But the two current series, we've been running with those for a while. Obviously, Snooker's been on for nearly 18 months now. It was last April, wasn't it? April 2019 when we started that. So Snooker's been going for a long time, and to be fair, the Tour de France content, I've been doing that since June, so we're nearly at 4 months now on that. And I would like to change things round. So after this season, the Tour de France season, the Pro Team will be stopping. But I think that after this season of Pro Team, I think we'll have achieved most of the things we'll have wanted to. You know, we've got the Criterium du Dauphiné going at the moment, we've got the Tour de France coming up next, which will take a while. So it's not going to be like, right, there's 3 episodes more of Tour de France and that's it. There's going to be plenty more Tour de France content, but I'm just going to say, after this season of Pro Team, I'm 99% sure that series is going to stop. And yeah, I think we'll stop covering the Tour de France game. We'll move on to something else. But I think when it comes to next year, I'll definitely cover the Tour de France game again. But again, it's not the sort of game you want to be covering for 12 months, then go to the next cycle and the next cycle. I think I've been doing snooker for so long that my brain says, right, you've got to cover this game forever. But that's not the way it should work. So again, we'll stop Pro Team after this season. I know you guys have been absolutely loving it. But, you know, if it stops in, say, the end of October, there's no reason maybe after Christmas or after that just to bring it back in some form. Or obviously wait till next June when the next Tour de France game comes out. But there's still plenty of content to go at with that. And I think with Snooker 19, I think that next season will probably be the last season of Snooker 19 because, as I say, I've been doing Snooker 19 for a long while. Again, I'll go more into depth with this in the Snooker 19 update. But I feel like I've been playing it for a long while now and we're getting close, but it's really annoying. We're getting so close to doing well, but then we're just falling at the last hurdle like we fell against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the last 16 of the Worlds. And yeah, I think I'm going to do one more season of Snooker 19. Again, the seasons, I mean, Christ, the season that I've just finished, we started that just as the lockdown started. It was about the 20th of March and it's finished sort of mid-September, start of September. So you get the picture that these seasons are long. So I think I'm going to dedicate myself. What's the word? I can't think what the word is. It's not dedicate, but I can't think what the word is. Yeah, you probably know what I mean. But I'm going to do another season of the Neil Robertson Pro Career on Snooker 19. And then I think that's probably going to be it. Because, again, sometimes you need a refresh. Sometimes you need a refresh of game. And fingers crossed, before the Neil Robertson Pro Career is finished, there will be a new snooker game announced. Again, I've got absolutely no intel about that, but I've just got a funny feeling that there might well be a new snooker game announced in the coming months. But to be honest, that's really it from me. Again, there's not really much more to say. If I get a sudden thought, I should have said that, I'll probably pin it as a comment or even use the community page. But I just thought for this, I'd rather tell it to you face to face rather than in a text message, because it just doesn't seem right to blab about all this in a text message, and plus the fact it would be like that much, whereas face to face it's basically that much. I can't spread my fingers much more. That it's like a 5,000 word essay, me speaking it, rather than 200 words saying channel schedule change. Oh, by the way, how are you guys? And that's the question I'm going to ask now. I've talked about myself, but I really care about the community here we've got here and the viewers, and I'd just like to know, how are you doing? How are you coping with COVID, and how are your lives doing, basically? I'm fine. I'm okay. I haven't really been affected. It's obviously affected us all in some ways. I've suffered. I've not really seen my friends very often in the last 6 or 8 months. But health-wise, which is the most important thing, me and my family are all as good as we can be. But let me know how you guys are doing down in the comments. That would be great to hear from all of you guys. But if you've watched this ramble and watched it all the way through, I always appreciate it. And thank you very much. Leave a like if you enjoyed. You don't have to, because it's one of those videos where likes don't really matter. But again, comment how you guys are. I'd really like to know how you guys are. And if for some crazy reason this is your first video of mine, remember to subscribe for regular episodes, and regulars taking it a bit far, isn't it? At the moment we've not doing anything for the last week, but subscribe for regular episodes of Snooker 19 and Tour de France. Obviously, we should be back in the next week. I'm going to do the snooker review today. Probably not do the Tour de France tomorrow, and then have a reset from Monday. Start the snooker series season on Monday, and then go from there with the schedule. Obviously, Tour de France Tuesday, snooker Wednesday, Tour de France Thursday, break on Friday, give you guys a chance to catch up on what's happened throughout the week in the videos, and then Saturday and Sunday, snooker and Tour de France. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have been TIJ Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video of mine. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.